Welcome to the CookUp, and today the pot sweet subtle. We have with us 6 of our young campers who are either participating or assisting with the ICH Core Knowledge Transfer Camp. And you know, this camp is put on by our department, and we are in the Ministry of Sports and the Creative Economy, Cultural Heritage. So we have our campers with us today, and they are going to be telling you all about some of the things that they are learning or assisting with at our camp. And you can reach us at our social media on Facebook at SKNICH or ICHSKN, on YouTube at St. Kitts Culture, on Twitter at St. Kitts Culture, and also on Instagram at Cultural Heritage SKN. My name is Alicia Daniel Blake. I am the Research and Communications Officer at my department. And it's my pleasure to bring you our talented rising cultural stars this morning. They are our assistant chefs in the kitchen today. And when I say your name, raise your hand so our audience can see who you are. We have Tekwanje Gomes, and he is learning all about clowns. We have Anthony Pederer, and he is learning all about mummies. We have Imari Liebert. He is learning the string band instruments. And we have Franz Charles Jr. He is a practicing actor. And we also have Kizara Evans and Destiny Bradshaw, and they are both practicing Makajumbis. Anthony, the first question is for you. And before we ask a question, we are going to have a video. Can we have that video for Anthony, please? Anthony, what are you doing in that video?
Well, the script was about St. George versus the giant, and as St. George, my job was to slay the dragon, so I slayed the dragon.
Oh, so the other person who you were stick fighting is a dragon. So is your character then a hero or a villain?
A hero.
A hero, and he slays dragons. Okay, was that your first ICH camp?
No.
Which one? Which number?
I have been to 3 ICH camps.
Okay. So all of them you learned how to do mummies?
Yes.
Okay. So you're versed, you're perfect on mummies yet? You have the script and everything down?
No, not yet. I am currently doing St. George, the Egypt King, and St. Patrick.
So all of those are heroes? Lovely. Okay. Now, we'll speak to Kizara and also Destiny. They are both our Makajumbis.
Just walk on this side, I might stretch out.
All right, so Kizara, in that second part of the video, what were you doing there?
I was helping him to catch his balance so he can go ahead and start to walk. We don't try to hold them up too much, baby them up too much, so that they could actually learn how to walk on their own.
Lovely. And so, Destiny, so how are you also helping in the same way? Because I think that was actually the facilitator in the first part of the video. How do you help them?
I help them to balance, to be able to push off their own. It's like you have to be matching, like how to walk.
So is that the first thing you have to learn how to do, the match thing?
The match. Once you know how to match, you know how to walk. Because matching is how we get our balance, how we able to stand.
Okay. So basically you pace yourself and balance on those stilts. Okay, how long have both of you been doing Makajumbi?
3 years.
3 years.
3 years. And where did you first learn?
We mean like
The
the
St.
location.
Johnson Community Center.
At the St. Johnson. So this isn't your, did you participate first before you started assisting others?
Yes.
Lovely. That's what we want to hear. And then Tikwanje. We have a video for you as well, showing you doing, well, not you personally, but showing clown moves. Nice. So what was the facilitator teaching those 2 young clowns?
They're teaching them the first step, how to move, how to bounce during, like to show off the colors of the clown suit, yeah, to represent themselves.
Lovely. So is this your first camp?
No.
How long have you been doing clown?
You could say three times per camp, but come here doing clowns.
Nice. So you are also well versed. Friends, now we are talking about actors for you. Let's look at a little clip here. What was he teaching that young man what to do? How to do?
Teaching them the first stage, how to get into a flip, which name the front hand spring. Yeah.
Oh, so it's a flip.
Yeah.
So is that important when you have to jump over the fork?
Yes.
Okay. So, and how long have you been practicing the actors?
3.5 years.
Lovely. So are you one of those who jumps over that scary fork?
Yes.
Oh boy. And then last of all, we have Imari. Imari, you are learning the string band instruments. Let's have a video. So Imari, what is the facilitator teaching you all here?
How to do twinkle twinkle little stars.
Okay, lovely. So in that strumming, is that they have 2 instruments? You have what? The guitar, and what does the young lady have?
Banjo.
The banjo. So those are 2 of the critical instruments, the stringed instruments in the performing cultural arts that we have in St. Kitts and Nevis. Tell me, is there any other instrument that you all are taught at this camp?
Yes. The 5 and the marco.
Okay, so is this your first camp?
No.
So what did you learn the last camp?
String band.
Yes, you learned string band. What's the instrument that you learned?
Quattro.
Quattro as well. Okay, so you now know guitar and quattro, both string instruments. I think at one point the facilitator would have been doing the fife with them. So you didn't take part in that session. Okay, so you would like that. So, CookUp connoisseurs, we have heard from all of our young people, and you realize it's a very interesting camp. So don't go anywhere. We have more from them when I come back.
It's time that we realize that we must work together to thrive. The world as we know it, the sky and below it. Could I never have more wonder? Yeah, with life and all you see and the climate's changing.
But hope is remaining.
And we can't ignore the future. It depends on you and me. One chance, all that we got. One voice, together we start. Take care, the world where we live. Permite a todos vivir. Tomamos la oportunidad para guardar la humanidad. And I must leave no one behind because we are, because we are.
Welcome back, CookUp connoisseurs. You heard from 6 of our young persons, most of whom are participants at the camp, but some of whom are actually assisting the camp because they actually passed through the camp already and they know most of the performing areas for their particular specialization. So now I'm going to ask them a few more questions. Now we'll start with Tekwanje. What is the most interesting thing that you have learned at the ICH camp?
The most interesting thing I have learned is one, respect my elders, and if we're talking about clowns specifically, is the part when we turn around and twirl to show up the colors of our clowns too.
Lovely. So, CookUp connoisseurs, I want you to take notes here. Did you realize that the first thing he mentioned is that there is respect for the elders, and that is some of the principles that we make sure we teach them at the camp. Next, we can have Anthony. Tell us, most interesting thing.
Well, I will have to say the most interesting thing is knocking the sticks, because you just have a fun when you just hit it with power.
Right. So it's the stick fighting, and you know that is an African tradition that came all the way back to the Caribbean with us. And so we will have Kazera. Kazara. I do apologize. What's your most interesting thing?
The most interesting thing.
You want Destiny to go then? Yeah. Destiny, go on, and we come back to Kazara.
My most interesting thing is to teach the children how to do it. I love to see their excitement, just teaching them how to do something new, and also so the new generation can also learn when we've passed on.
Wisely spoken. Take notes, CookUp connoisseurs. Franz, what about you? What's your most interesting thing? Because you're actually a performer already as well.
My most interesting thing is flipping over the phone.
Isn't that scary though? Because I always wonder about that, you know, because I'd be holding my breath.
No.
You don't hold your breath when you don't pick up the phone? No. Okay. All right. Imari, your most interesting thing?
Teaching other people from other folklore groups how to do the quadrille.
Okay. So because you have been to the camp before, you have also assisted your facilitator. Okay. So we're back to Kizara. What's your most interesting thing in teaching others? Okay, we'll skip that one. Let's come to another one then. Is there a folklore troupe in your communities, and have any of you joined that folklore troupe? Now we know that all communities don't have, but those of you whose communities have you joined any? We'll come back down to the end by Tekwanje. Tell us.
Yes, I have joined the folklore group in Sandy Point, which is Maple.
What exactly do you do in that folklore troupe? Clowns again?
In the Maple?
In the Maple, yes.
Plait the ribbon.
Plait the ribbon. Oh, I should have guessed from the name Maple. Okay, Anthony? Is there a folklore troupe in your community? Have you joined?
No.
No, there's none? Okay. And both of you, Kizara and Destiny, any folklore troops that you are part of?
Yes.
Yes.
Which one?
In the Sandy Point Macajumbi group.
Lovely. And how's that going so far? Are you performing with adults?
Yes.
Okay. Lovely. And she said her dad is one of the facilitators. His name is what again?
Kareem Bradshaw.
Kareem Bradshaw. And then Franz, what about you? You actually have on a shirt. You have joined, you are part of a troupe in your community. Tell us about it.
The St. Peter's Actors.
Okay. Headed by who?
Aidan Hendrickson.
Okay, lovely. And do you enjoy that?
Yes.
Okay. Are most of you youngsters, or you do it with adults as well?
Adults as well.
Okay. You married?
We don't have long community.
Okay. Would you like to?
Yes.
CookUp connoisseurs, that is one of the reasons we have this camp, that we can feed the youngsters into the community troops so that they in turn can help to uphold and continue our cultural traditions. Lovely. So I know the answer from one of the persons, because we mentioned already that Destiny's dad is actually practicing Makajumbi. Now, anybody else who has any of their relatives as part of the cultural folklore troops?
No.
No?
Yes.
You do?
Yeah, I have Kali in the same Makadambi troop.
He's also in the Makajumbi. Very good. So it's a family tradition. So this is another point as well. We realize that we only have a few persons in communities who are in the folklore troops. Only some of the communities actually have folklore troops. So this is something that we are working on at our department, Creative Economy, Cultural Heritage. All right. So which, and anybody can answer this one, we're not going in order. Which is more scary, the bull or the Makajumbis?
Makajumbi. For sure.
That's too big to scare the
For
bull.
sure.
You're too big to be afraid of the bull now. Okay. So I got the answer. Another question. Which costume is more colorful, the masquerade or the mummy?
Clowns. Clowns.
The clowns. Okay, no, between masquerade and mummy. Masquerade. Okay. All right. Next question. Whose lines are more difficult to learn, the mummies or the clowns? The mummies. Okay. Now I'm gonna have to agree with you all with that, because the mummies is more historical, and so because of that, there is actual specific lines to learn. Could you tell us some of your lines?
I could learn with St. George against the giant.
Sure.
Would you keep your purse up in your pocket? Would you keep your head up on your shoulder? I love a woman and a woman love me. So when I want a fool, I shall send for thee. Anyone in their brightest company, let them step forward and boldly clear the way.
Lovely. Let's give him a round of applause. So you realize there's also a little romance in the little piece that he said, and this is something that we have to pay close attention to. Very critical for the continuation of our cultural heritage. So CookUp connoisseurs, don't go anywhere. We have another segment waiting for you.
Healthwise on ZIZ TV, Mondays at 8:30 p.m. Hosted by Dr. Monique Lescott, Dr. Jolette Woodley, and Dr. Patrice Lawrence.
That's what I'm talking about.
Wait! Okay, now, from the beginning.
Hit it, boys.
Welcome to the St. Kitts Craft House. This is where life begins, and what we create will leave you speechless. We train, we create, we promote, and we maintain the highest standards. Experience life for yourself. The premier craft and production facility in St. Kitts and Nevis.
CookUp connoisseurs, I am really enjoying myself too much, I am being told. I do enjoy interacting with our young persons, especially young people who are continuing our cultural heritage. We have a few more questions for you, and then we're going to go into a segment called the seasoning mix. So let me ask a question. The cultural traditions that each of you spoke about, do you think that is something that should continue? And would you be willing to do your part? We'll start with Franz. Franz, do you think these traditions should continue, and would you be willing to do your part?
Yes.
Okay. Why do you think it's important to do that?
To keep our culture alive.
Okay. Pastor Mary, what do you think?
To keep the young children from doing a lot of nonsense.
Okay. Now I have to say something about that. You realize it comes from the mouths of babes, because we know that St. Kitts and Nevis does have a violent situation, and being in the folklore troops is definitely something to keep them occupied and to keep them out of trouble. Tukwanje, let's hear from you.
Of course, I think it should keep going on in our culture, And the reason why is because you get to find more friends and their own people who is your age and your size.
Thank you. There you go again, from the mouths of babes. Socialization, and not the socialization on devices, interaction. Anthony?
Yes, because it is important to keep up with your culture. If we just stop it, everyone will forget about it, forget about our ancestors and everything. So it is important to keep up.
Thank you. There's nothing else left for me to say. And for you, Kizara?
Yes, I think it's important because we need to actually get back some of our cultures that have been gone for a while. So, yeah.
Thank you. Safeguarding. Destiny?
Yes, I also think so. Because if the culture died out, what would be of St. Kitts? St. Kitts is known for its culture and all the traditions. So what would be of St. Kitts?
Well spoken. And then another question. How can the general public make sure that folklore troops survive? So in other words, what support can you get from your communities? We can start with France. What support? How do you think your community can assist? And coming from somebody who is in the St. Peter's actors, how do you think your community can assist? And you mentioned that you weren't originally from St. Peter's. Where are you living?
St. Peter's.
You live in St. Peter's? Oh, okay. So you mentioned that you're from somewhere else.
Sandy Point.
Sandy Point. But you now live in St. Peter's, so you join the St. Peter's actors.
Yes.
How can the community assist?
By
You want to let somebody else try along? Yes. You married?
By letting other people and other children coming out to support and try it out.
Lovely. So participation. Tekwanje?
Me, I think you should send the young ones to interact with we older children to teach them about our culture.
Lovely. So there you go. Because you may have more information than the others. Yes? Anthony?
Well, I think first they can start by creating a group, and then we can move on from them.
All right. So more cultural troops. Yes? Kizara?
Well, I agree with what he said. I have nothing else to say.
Okay. Destiny?
I think that each community can host a culture camp. Same like this one.
Lovely. Now, you notice none of our young people said government. And that is critical, because although there is an expectation, we also need to rely on persons within our communities. We are now going to go right into the seasoning mix.
It's very short. Yes, come on, right now.
CookUp connoisseurs, welcome to the seasoning mix. Remember, this is where we mix up everything and tell you all that we have been doing. And we don't taste the pot too, the pot sweet. Now, we have folk galore coming up. It's an activity organized by our department. And it is a folklore competition. It's taking place Wednesday, December 18th. And the judging begins at 3 p.m. and it goes until. So even after the judging, there will be folklore performing in the streets of Bastille. So don't miss it, because guess what? We are not only having just the cultural performances that we have alive here now, but we have some that we are reviving. Guess what? There's going to be one called Johnny Walker. How many of you have seen Johnny Walker performance? And they are coming over from our sister island of Nevis. So we thank them very much for keeping that alive for us. They're going to be coming over. And then the competitions include the bowl competition. We have 5 bowls participating. Bowl troops, I should say. And then we also have the masquerade competition. We have 6 masquerade troops performing. And we have the mixed folklore. And that comprises 8 troops, because all of the troops that are not in bowl and masquerade will be competing against each other. Guess what? We have a nigger business, you know. Anybody ever see what is nigger business? Come on out on Wednesday, December 18th to Folk Galore at the circus. Starting at 3 p.m. you're going to see nigger business. You're going to see Johnny Walker. Two of the troops that we consider as dying. They're reviving them. We reviving them, and together we need to do that. We also will be having our carnival parade. These young people will be in it on December 28th. And then we are inviting our volunteers to come and assist us. And you can do that by signing up on social media, on Facebook at SKNICH. So do come on out, do volunteer with us so that you can help us raise this young crop of cultural performers. So cultural performers, we really would like to support you in that end. This is our last show, and so we invite the young people to tell you something special as we are about to leave. So what would you like to tell our CookUp connoisseurs?
Merry Christmas and a Happy New Year.
So with that said, CookUp connoisseurs, together we can safeguard our living heritage. See you next year.